Coming up on this edition of Bearkat Student Media News, hear how one Huntsville woman's death is creating awareness about the dangers of distracted driving.
Also, we'll see how students on campus use their Bearkat One cards to get access to their medical needs.
Live from the Dan Rather Communications Building on the campus of Sam Houston State University, this is Channel 7 News.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Justin Hardcastle.
And I'm Angie Rodriguez. Welcome to Bearkat Student Media News.
November 7th was a very important day to honor the death of a certain Huntsville native. Bearkat Student Media's Lucas Connor has more.
On November 7th, 2019, Huntsville native Peyton Irwin was on her way to San Antonio with some friends to work on a class project. However, Peyton and her friends would never reach their destination. Tragically, they would lose their lives to a distracted driver who was looking at his phone at the time of their cars colliding. The driver ran to the back of Peyton's car, killing her and her friends. Peyton was only 19 years old when she passed. She was one of more than 3,600 people who died on a Texas roadway that year. Some people say the dangers of texting and driving will continue to be a problem for a very long time.
I'm not sure because there are a lot of things you could do instead of texting and driving. I know it's been a problem since texting was made early 2000s type thing, but there are plenty of ways you could use instead of texting. You can just call someone, which is more convenient. You can't really do much while texting and driving. It's just too much focus to split.
Peyton's mom, Deanna, has been on a mission since her daughter's death to spread awareness about distracted driving through the Peyton Irwin Foundation. It's working as the Texas Department of Transportation is helping to end traffic deaths on Texas roadways through various campaigns. While most people are trying to find a way to prevent distracted driving altogether, some people are attacking the issue with a different approach.
I do remember when I took my driver's ed, when I was trying to get my license, a big part of it was, learning about the consequences of texting and driving, and they show videos of people who've been in those situations and they've lost their life because of a distracted driver. So I definitely feel like people or the government tries to do their part, but unfortunately people are selfish, and with the youth, people value a text message more than their own lives or someone else's life.
At the end of the day, it's not the text message or the alcohol that causes people to crash, but rather the selfishness of the driver that leads to every single death on the roadways every single day.
Don't be selfish, because I feel like texting and driving is a very selfish act. Your phone is still going to be there, the text message is still going to be there, but you might not be there. Or the person who you kill because you just want to answer that text might not be there,
Reporting from Huntsville, Lucas Connor, Bearkat Student Media.
The red wave swept across Walker County in midterm elections this year. Voters headed to the polls between 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. on November 8th. Huntsville residents lined up to cast their ballots on one of 8 polling stations countywide. At the University Heights Baptist Church, the wait line was up to an hour in the evening.
The unofficial election results show Republicans won all seats on the Walker County ticket. Governor Greg Abbott's big win over Democrat Beto O'Rourke proves Texas remains a red state. Up-to-date election results can be viewed on Walker County's official website. The Student Health Center held its last flu shot clinic for the season.
Bearkat Student Media's Amanda Michelle has more.
At the James and Nancy Gartner Performing Arts Center, students had the chance to get their flu shot. An active Bearkat One card was the only requirement for students to participate.
5 minutes of fame. Oh, I don't plan on it. I won't ruin it for you. Not mine at all.
Before their shots, students spun a prize wheel to win items such as sanitizer and pens.
We obviously feel it's important for students to have access to the vaccine, and this is a service that we can provide that is free to any student that wants to participate. And so we're using some of the funding that we get from student fees to be able to give back to the students with a service that will benefit them.
Students can also get their shots at the Student Health Center Monday through Friday
And any student that has an appointment at the Student Health Center, we will ask them if they'd like to receive their flu shot, so they can do that during that appointment. And then we also do these big events across campus so that students who may not need to go to the Student Health Center for another reason can access us just to easily get their flu shot.
From the SHSU campus, Amanda Michelle, Bearkat Student Media.
The Student Health Center held a mental health information event in LSE.
Bearkat Student Media's Carter Cyprin was there and has more.
Licensed psychologist Jesse Robinson presented a lesson to students at the Lauman Student Center about mindfulness and meditation.
Very clear that young people today are struggling with a variety of problems. We see at the counseling center, for example, lots of anxiety and lots of depressive symptomology.
The Sam Houston State University Counseling Center has both in-person and online resources for students currently enrolled. The Counseling Center provides several counseling options, including brief counseling, couples counseling, group counseling, workshops, and crisis intervention. Robinson pointed out the difference between mindfulness and meditation. He explains that mindfulness is a quality of being, while meditation is a practice. The most utilized form of counseling in the Student Counseling Center is group counseling. Students receive feedback and support from both professionals and their peers. Some of their sessions include anxiety support, healing through art expression, calm in the storm, stress management, sexual assault survivor group, and even an international student support group.
I think students are doing a lot of identity work, trying to figure out who they want to be and how they want to be, how they want to show up in the different domains of life. Those desired personal qualities that they want to bring, that we want to bring with us to those different domains that I mentioned, and and then kind of get in touch with our core values and use those for motivation and for direction when we feel lost.
From the campus of Sam Houston State University, Carter Cyprian, Bearkat Student Media.
Coming up, find out how the campus is trying to bring Christmas to kids in need in the community.
We take you to the LSC after the break.
This could be any town in Texas. Friendly folk. Everyone knows everyone, including our doctor, when we have one. Out here, it's an hour drive just for a checkup. They say we're facing a shortage of doctors, and that's one thing our state can't afford. We're so deeply bound to our rural roots, it's hard to comprehend. That's why Sam Houston State University created its College of Osteopathic Medicine to meet the healthcare needs of our rural communities and all who call Texas home. Better healthcare in our small towns is better for everyone. A new generation of physicians for Texans from a medical school that understands our Texas roots. Sam Houston State University, a great name in medicine.
You're watching Bearkat Student Media News, a production of the Mass Communications Department at Sam Houston State University, only right here on Channel 7.
The Department of Leadership and Initiatives is bringing joy to kids in the community through the Tree of Hope. With the holiday season just around the corner, the department has partnered with the Boys and Girls Club of Walker County to provide gifts for children.
SHSU students and staff are encouraged to stop by room 326 in the LSC and choose items to buy for the children.
You know, I hope that they start thinking to give more often, start using it as a moment to reflect and implement this in their own life without being prompted, and see that there are so many kids in our own community that need assistance and care.
The department divides the gifts, so there's a gift to choose for every budget.
People are welcome to choose as many gifts as they like. Gifts will be accepted from now until December 9th.
Last Thursday, a Pulitzer Award-winning author stopped by SHSU's campus.
Bearkat Student Media's Noah McClendon has a story.
Pulitzer Prize-winning author Adam Johnson stopped by the Sam Houston campus on Thursday. He spoke to a room filled with eager students and faculty. Johnson, who is a professor himself at Stanford University, could sense something special happening here in Huntsville.
Oh, it's great to be here. I think they have a thriving community here. The campus feels very live, and this is a time in which people are expressing themselves And studying in a program like this can really make it happen.
Students listened to one of his short stories, which had them talking about it and Johnson afterwards.
I really enjoyed it. It was a beautiful story. I found that I could connect to it on some levels. He seems like a very nice man, very creative and talented. Can write a good short story, that's for sure.
While maybe not a household name, Johnson has received some accolades. His book, The Orphan Master's Son, won him a Pulitzer. His other book, Fortune Smiles, won a National Book Award. He's also had his works end up in GQ, Esquire, and Playboy. His short stories have been in the Best American Short Stories as well. Johnson hoped the short story he read on this day got the students talking.
Well, I hope my story rattled them a little bit, made them slightly uncomfortable in their seats, because that's what a good story does, is it challenges you, makes you think, makes you contemplate your own life, gives you a comparison set.
The fun didn't end after the story. Students also got to talk to Johnson and have him sign their books. Johnson signed books with kind words and shared stories of places he's traveled to around the world. When I asked him what his favorite destination was, his answer was not your typical response.
Well, a place is about people. And my people are like people who dig poetry, who dig writing, who dig song. And, those communities exist wherever you go. And you just have to find your kin. To have a relationship with the page means you're hanging out with readers, and that's who writers like the best.
On the campus of Sam Houston State University, Noah McClendon, Bearkat Student Media.
Still ahead, get ready for this fan favorite sport that's making its way back to campus. More from the Bernard G. Johnson Coliseum.
And it'll remain cool for the rest of the week, but could we see rain? We'll have your full weather picture after the break.
Schmidt in the gun, stands on the 15. Schmidt looking over center, it's caught! It's a touchdown! It's a touchdown!
Three, two, one.
Good afternoon, Huntsville and Sam Houston State University students. Here's your local forecast. Now it's currently 55 degrees in Huntsville with partly cloudy skies throughout the day. The humidity is at 51%, winds at 6 miles an hour with the feels like temperature at 50. Now around the region, Centerville is at 54 degrees, College Station comes in at 55, Groveton is also at 55 degrees, as in Livingston. Now Conroe checks in at 55, and finally Hardin is seeing 54 degrees. Now statewide, El Paso checks in at 52 degrees with partly cloudy skies. In Lubbock, we're at 48 degrees. Dallas is seeing 53 degrees. San Antonio is a little warmer at 58 degrees. And down in Brownsville, it's 53 degrees. Around the nation, it's 51 degrees in New York. In Chicago, it's 37 and a warm 83 down in Miami. Denver is a cool 40 degrees, and lastly in LA, it's a nice 73 degrees. For tomorrow, we'll wake up to a chilly 41 degrees in Huntsville. Sunrise will be at 6:50 a.m. with partly cloudy skies, winds from the northeast at 9 miles an hour, and the humidity will be at 59%. The 5-day forecast for Huntsville: tomorrow, the high will be 59 with a low of 36. Friday has a high of 56 with a low of 41. Saturday, a high of 49 degrees with a chance of rain. Sunday, 55 and partly cloudy. And Monday has a high of 51 with a 35% chance of rain. That's it from the Bearkat Student Media Weather Center. I'm Angie Rodriguez. Justin, back to you.
Thanks for that awesome weather update, Angie. Get ready because it's time for hooping season. That's right, basketball is officially underway here at Sam Houston State. The first home game of the season took place at Johnson Coliseum last Thursday night. The men's team faced off against Southwestern Adventist, and the Bearcats completely dominated. The Bearcats pummeled the Knights 120-33, leaving them in the dust. Fans are excited for what the season has in store for them.
Coming off the first win against Oklahoma, we're expecting big crowds. We have many season ticket holders, many students invested, and we're just super excited to welcome them here at Johnson Coliseum.
The game has also provided a fun experience by getting some fans involved at halftime. The crowd also broke an attendance record. Nearly 1,900 people came out to support the basketball team and showed their school spirit. The women take on Tulane Sunday, and the men play Northern Illinois on Tuesday.
More hoops action coming up, but first we'll take it to Bauer Stadium to see if the football team could take care of business against Abilene Christian. I'm Bearkat Student Media sportscaster Rodrigo Mendoza, and I'll have all your action on the field and on the court after the break.
The proud son of hardworking immigrant parents, Eric Rodas chose to serve his country. A father, a soldier, and now a college graduate. He proved that circumstances have nothing to do with your outcome. Since 1879, we've been helping students like Eric determine their future. Sam Houston State University, a great name in education.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rodrigo Mendoza with your Bearkat Student Media Sports. This past Saturday, the 5-2 Sam Houston Bearcats took on Abilene Christian University, who came in with a 6-3 record of their own. The Bearcats got off to a slow start, falling behind 21-0 in the first 3 minutes following two costly turnovers, but Keegan Shoemaker hits Shane Johnson to get the scoring going for the Bearcats, to cut the lead down to 21-7. Shoemaker does it again with his legs, this time making defenders miss for a 42-yard score, cutting the lead down to 21-14. Following a couple of scores from both teams, Keegan Shoemaker hits Alvante Woodard for a spectacular 17-yard touchdown of his own. 38-28 ACU now. Abilene Christian's offense would march down the field and score a rushing touchdown on 3rd and goal to give them a commanding 45-28 lead, which they would hold on to. This loss drops the Bearcats down to 5-3 with one game remaining against Southern Utah this Saturday. That game will be the last game in the Western Athletic Conference. The women's basketball team suffered a 75-70 loss to Texas State Saturday night. The Lady Bearcats started off with a strong 12-point lead thanks to Michaela Woods. She hit 4 3-pointers and pulled down 9 rebounds. Texas State regained power by erasing a 6-point deficit and taking the lead for good. Kaylee Jefferson joined Woods, scoring 10 points with 6 boards and 6 assists. Madeline Batista just missed out on a double-double with 8 points and 11 rebounds. The Lady Bearcats dropped to 0-2 on the young season, and as we mentioned before, they'll be back in action on Saturday at Tulane. On the other hand, the men's basketball team once again dominating at home, showing that lockdown defense to take a 84-48 win against LeTourneau on Monday. The Bearcats got off to a quick 10-0 run in the first 3 minutes of the game. Back-to-back shots by Keegan Scroggins and made a 3-pointer by Quay Grant and Tristan Ipke. Made it 28-0 before the Yellow Jackets got on the board. After this, Sam Houston went on another run, this time scoring 16 straight points, upping the lead to 45-16 by halftime. The Cats outscored the Yellow Jackets 39-32 in the second half. The biggest lead of the night was of 51 points, and this game was never really a contest. The Bearcats hit the road to face Utah on Thursday. A lot of excitement on the court and on the field in the coming weeks. I'm Rodrigo Mendoza. That's Wrap on Sports. Justin, back to you.
Thanks for that awesome sports update, Rodrigo. Sam Houston State celebrated National First Generation Day on November 8th. The university offered different events to mark the occasion. The Trio First Gen Research Fair took place in the Frank Parker Plaza outside of the Lohman Student Center. Trio organized the event along with the First Gen Center.
The fair offered different resources such as legal advice and financial and academic advice. After visiting each booth at the fair, event goers received a free t-shirt from the First Gen Center along with free goodies. For more information, follow Trio and the First Gen Center on their social media sites listed on the screen. That'll do it for us here at Bearkat Student Media News. I'm Angie Rodriguez.
And I'm Justin Hardcastle, and we'll see you back here next week.